Ladies and gentlemen, success doesn't come to those who merely wish for it. It comes to those who believe in it, plan for it, and act on it. The formula is simple. Think big, start small, and act like the rich. When you think big, you train your mind to see opportunities where others see obstacles. You stop playing defense and start playing offense with life. It's not about where you are now. It's about where you believe you can go. Every skyscraper began with an idea, every success story with a bold vision. But vision alone isn't enough. That's why the next step is to start small. Many people wait for the perfect moment or the perfect plan, but champions begin with what they have. Starting small keeps you grounded, focused, and realistic. You don't need millions to begin, you need momentum. Whether it's one customer, one habit, or 1 hour a day, start there. Now, to act like the rich doesn't mean flashing money or showing off. It means behaving like those who understand the value of time, the power of focus, and the necessity of risk. The wealthy don't trade hours for dollars. They create systems, they invest in learning, and they make decisions with the future in mind. Here's the truth, the difference between a successful person and everyone else is not talent, it's mindset. So think beyond your limitations, start with whatever you have, and carry yourself with the mindset of someone already winning. Success is not reserved for the lucky, it's earned by those who believe they deserve it. Now go out there and think big, start small, and act rich in mindset, before the bank account ever follows. Every great achievement begins in the mind, before the world sees it, before success arrives, and before others believe it's possible. There is a vision, a powerful, unshakable, deeply rooted vision. That's how every successful journey starts. You must see it in your mind before you hold it in your hand. Vision is not a fantasy. It is not daydreaming. Vision is clarity. It's a mental blueprint of where you want to go and who you are becoming. When you have vision, you are not walking aimlessly. You are walking with intention. You may not have all the tools, you may not have the full plan, but if you have vision, you have direction. And direction is everything. People without vision get stuck. They focus on distractions. They let fear, criticism, and doubt dominate their thoughts. But people with vision, they're different. Their eyes are fixed forward. They are fueled by purpose. Even when they face setbacks, they rise again because their vision pulls them forward stronger than any force that tries to hold them back. Vision is the difference between working hard and working smart. It helps you say no to what's not aligned with your future. It helps you escape the trap of instant gratification and stay focused on long-term goals. With a powerful vision, your energy becomes concentrated. Your time becomes precious. Your steps become intentional. You're no longer just reacting to life. You're leading it. But here's the key: action follows vision. Without action, vision is useless. It becomes a dream that dies slowly. Action is how you prove you're serious. Action is how you tell the universe, I'm ready. Action is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. And that bridge can only be crossed if you move. If you take steps daily, even when no one claps for you, even when it's uncomfortable, even when nothing seems to be changing. Vision without action is just imagination. Action without vision is just chaos. But when vision and action come together, that's where success lies. Think of any successful person. They didn't start with everything. They started with a clear picture in their mind. A picture of success so vivid, so real, that it burned in their heart every single day. That vision guided their choices. It gave them the discipline to show up even on bad days. It gave them the power to ignore the noise, push past rejections, and keep building. Too many people wait until conditions are perfect to begin. They wait until they feel ready. But vision doesn't work like that. You don't need to have all the answers to take the first step. You just need to see the destination clearly in your mind. And then trust yourself enough to begin. Your vision is your internal compass. It keeps you from quitting when others would. It gives meaning to your hard work. It reminds you that what you're doing today isn't just about now, it's about who you're becoming. When you live with vision, you walk differently. You speak differently. You make decisions based on the future, not just the present. And that's what separates leaders from followers. Leaders don't wait for opportunities. They create them. Remember, people may doubt you. They may not understand what you're building. They may laugh at your goals, but your job isn't to convince them. Your job is to believe in your vision so deeply that their doubt becomes irrelevant. You were never meant to think small. Your thoughts create your reality. If you can see it clearly, you can work toward it confidently. The key is to start acting now, even if your first step is small, even if it's imperfect. Because once your action matches your vision, you create unstoppable momentum. Success is not about starting big. It's about starting right. Too many people are paralyzed because they think they need the perfect plan, the perfect amount of money, or the perfect timing to begin. That mindset is the biggest trap. Real winners don't wait for ideal conditions. They begin with what they have. They start small, but they start with intention. Think of a giant tree. It begins as a seed, tiny, almost invisible. But inside that seed is the potential for growth, strength, and greatness. The same is true for your dreams. You don't need to take a massive leap today. You need to take a small, deliberate step, then another, and another. That's how momentum is born. Starting small is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strategy. It means you're building your foundation. It means you're learning as you go. It means you're respecting the process. Every great company, every successful person, every revolutionary idea started small. Not one of them had it all figured out in the beginning. What they had was the courage to begin and the patience to grow. Starting small allows you to learn without risk. It gives you space to make mistakes, adjust, and improve. It keeps your ego in check and your focus sharp. When you're small, you observe more. You adapt faster. You understand your craft, your customers, and your weaknesses in a way the big players often forget. Small beginnings keep you humble, and humility is powerful. It makes you listen more, appreciate more, and work harder. When you start small, every win feels earned. Every step feels meaningful. You're not skipping steps. You're building something solid, something that can last. The problem is most people don't respect the small steps. They want the reward without the grind. They want the applause without the preparation. But real growth doesn't work that way. If you skip the small beginnings, you miss the lessons that only the early stages can teach. Small doesn't mean slow. It means smart. It means agile. It means efficient. When you're small, you're free to move fast, to try new things, to build your identity and experiment without the weight of expectations. You're not held back by bureaucracy, by layers of approval, or by fear of judgment. You're free to act, learn, fail, and repeat. In fact, starting small forces you to be resourceful. You don't throw money at problems, you solve them. You don't hire a team to fix everything. You roll up your sleeves and do the work. That's how real skills are developed. That's how grit is built. You become the kind of person who knows how to build something from scratch. The truth is, starting small protects you. It keeps your losses manageable and your vision intact. It gives you time to develop your character alongside your business, your mission, or your passion. If everything came fast and easy, you wouldn't be ready for it. You wouldn't be able to handle the weight of success because you never learned how to carry it. Big things take time. And time rewards those who are consistent. A small action repeated daily is more powerful than a massive action taken once. That's the secret behind compound growth. It's not loud. It's not flashy. But it's unstoppable. Start where you are. Use what you have. Focus on getting one thing right. Then build on it. Mastery doesn't come from chasing many things. It comes from going deep with one thing. When you start small, you gain clarity. You see what matters. You become efficient, focused, and effective. Too many people miss their opportunity because they think small beginnings don't matter. But the truth is, they matter more than anything. Because once you learn how to succeed on a small scale, you can multiply it. You can grow it. You can scale it with confidence. Wealth is not just measured in money. It's measured in mindset. Long before someone becomes rich in their bank account, they are rich in the way they think, the way they solve problems, and the way they view the world. If you want to attract success, you must begin by thinking like the people who already live in that space. Wealthy thinkers don't chase money. They attract it. They don't rely on luck. They rely on systems, habits, and discipline. They have trained their minds to seek opportunity in every obstacle and to see value where others see limits. This doesn't happen by accident. It comes from a different way of thinking, a different set of choices repeated over time. The first habit wealthy thinkers adopt is long-term thinking. They don't just think about the next paycheck or the next weekend. They think about the next 5 years, 10 years, even decades. While others are distracted by temporary pleasures, they are focused on building lasting assets, skills, relationships, businesses, and systems that grow over time. They sacrifice comfort now to create freedom later. Wealthy minds operate with clarity and control. They don't waste time reacting emotionally to every situation. They plan, they prepare, they protect their energy. They know exactly what they want and make decisions based on logic, not impulse. Their time is their most valuable currency, and they guard it fiercely. Another key habit is continuous learning. Wealthy thinkers are readers, listeners, observers. They don't claim to know it all. They stay curious. They understand that every new skill learned, every new perspective gained, is another tool in their toolbox. They invest in their minds more than they invest in gadgets or temporary status symbols, because they know once their mind expands, it can never shrink back. They also practice delayed gratification. Where average minds want fast results, wealthy minds are patient. They understand that true wealth takes time to grow. They are willing to work behind the scenes, in silence, building what no one sees, knowing that one day, the results will speak loudly. This habit separates the dreamers from the doers. One of the most powerful habits wealthy thinkers share is their relationship with failure. They don't fear it, they expect it, they use it. While most people quit at the first setback, wealthy thinkers ask, "What is this teaching me?" And they adjust. They don't attach failure to identity. They see it as feedback, as data. Every loss becomes a stepping stone, every mistake a lesson. Wealthy thinkers also build networks, not just connections. They surround themselves with people who think big, who talk solutions, who challenge them to rise higher. They know that the people around them will either push them forward or pull them back. That's why they protect their circle. They choose to learn from those ahead of them and lift those beside them. They are strategic with money, not emotional. They save to invest, not to hoard. They understand the difference between assets and liabilities. They look for ways to make money work for them, not the other way around. They spend on growth, not on validation. They are not impressed by looking rich. They are focused on becoming free. Wealthy thinkers are creators, not consumers. While others scroll endlessly, they are building. While others complain, they are creating solutions. They turn ideas into action and problems into profits. They don't wait for someone to give them permission. They take responsibility for their outcomes. Lastly, they live with intention. They don't let the day control them. They control the day. Every habit, every choice, every routine is aligned with their vision. They know success is not built in a moment of luck, but in thousands of moments of discipline and direction. Time is the one currency that never refunds. You can lose money and make it back. You can lose opportunities and create new ones. But once time is gone, it's gone forever. Successful people understand this truth deeply, and that's why they value time far more than money. They know that managing time well is the foundation of all wealth. People who think poor spend time to save money. People who think rich spend money to save time. That's the mindset gap. Wealthy individuals don't obsess over discounts or cheap options. They obsess over productivity, freedom, and leverage. They measure decisions by how much time they save, not just how much money they spend, because they know time is the real asset that compounds. When you value time, you become selective. You stop saying yes to everything. You stop wasting hours on meaningless entertainment or shallow distractions. You realize that every minute spent in the wrong direction is a minute stolen from your future. People who build extraordinary lives are those who learn how to protect their time like their life depends on it. Because it does. Money is a byproduct of how you spend your time. If you waste your days scrolling, procrastinating, or chasing instant pleasure, you pay for it later, with stress, regret, and stagnation. But when you start treating your time like the most valuable resource you own, everything changes. Your habits sharpen. Your focus increases. Your goals become urgent and alive. The wealthy schedule their day with purpose. Every hour is assigned. Mornings are sacred. Routines are non-negotiable. They don't leave their life to chance. They run their life like a business. They track where their time goes, just like others track where their money goes. They understand that small moments, used wisely, create massive momentum over time. One powerful truth is this: money works best when it buys you back time. That's why wealthy people outsource what doesn't require their brain power. They delegate tasks that drain their focus. They automate what can be automated, because they want to spend their energy on strategy, not survival, on vision, not repetition. They trade money for margin. Time is also the greatest investment tool. When used with intention, it can grow anything: a skill, a brand, a relationship, a business. Every hour you invest in learning, creating, improving, or building returns value in the future. But you must be consistent. Time pays the disciplined. It doesn't reward those who use it randomly. It rewards those who use it intentionally. There's a reason why successful people read every day, block distractions, and practice deep work. It's not just about working more. It's about working smart. They understand that what you do with one focused hour can outperform what most people do with an entire distracted day. The people who stay stuck are often those who trade time for tiny gains. They waste hours trying to save a few dollars, never realizing that time is the most expensive thing they're losing. They treat time like it's unlimited and money like it's precious. But it's the other way around. You can always create more money. You can't create more time. When you begin to value time over money, your choices change. You stop gossiping. You stop lingering in toxic relationships. You stop entertaining habits that steal your future. You become impatient with nonsense and obsessed with growth. You ask better questions. Is this worth my time? Will this move me forward? What's the return on this hour? The wealthy understand that time is a magnifier. What you do repeatedly with your time defines your destiny. If you waste time, you shrink your future. If you respect time, you multiply your results. You can trace every great achievement back to someone who knew how to manage their hours with discipline and clarity. When time becomes your most protected asset, life starts to bend in your favor. Decisions become easier. Results come faster. You stop playing life at a basic level and start thinking like someone who knows exactly what each second is worth. Success is never a straight line. The path is full of detours, delays, and unexpected turns. That's why one of the greatest qualities a person can develop is persistence. But persistence alone is not enough. If you are rigid, stubborn, or emotionally attached to just one method, you may persist in the wrong direction. True winners know how to hold tightly to their vision, but remain flexible in their approach. They are persistent in their purpose, but adaptable in their plan. Persistence is your fuel. It's the drive to show up when no one claps, to keep moving when the road feels endless, and to keep trying when others would have already given up. Persistent people outlast failure. They keep going not because it's easy, but because they've made a decision that quitting is not an option. That's power. That's inner strength. But adaptability is your steering wheel. It's what allows you to change course when necessary, to pivot when conditions shift, and to reinvent your strategy when the old one no longer serves the mission. Adaptable minds don't see change as a threat. They see it as a tool. They know the goal is fixed, but the route is flexible. Look at any successful entrepreneur, athlete, or leader. They all have one thing in common: they failed, adjusted, and continued. The market changed. The technology changed. The people around them changed. And instead of resisting, they evolved. They didn't abandon their goals. They updated their strategies. That's what gives persistence its real strength, the ability to transform under pressure. Being persistent without adaptability can lead to burnout. You could push and push on a closed door, not realizing that the real opportunity lies around the corner. If you're too focused on how you thought things should go, you'll miss how they could go even better. Adaptability is not weakness. It's intelligence. It's awareness. It's survival. Persistence requires you to trust the process, to keep believing in yourself even when there's no immediate proof of progress. But adaptability requires you to listen to the feedback, to the environment, and to your own intuition. Sometimes the lesson isn't to push harder. It's to pause and adjust your method. There will be moments in your journey when your plan doesn't work, your timing feels off, or your results don't match your effort. That's when most people quit. But those who win understand that these are just signals. Signals to learn, not to leave. They rework the model, try a new angle, and innovate instead of retreat. Adaptability also means being open to learning. It means you're willing to upgrade your mindset, unlearn what no longer works, and absorb new skills. It means you're not tied to your ego. You're tied to growth. People who adapt fast don't wait to be told. They observe, they predict, and they act early. Persistence gives you the strength to endure, but adaptability gives you the wisdom to evolve. Together, they form an unstoppable mindset. You become someone who doesn't crack under pressure and who doesn't freeze when faced with uncertainty. You learn to bend, not break. This mindset makes you resilient. You understand that failure isn't final. It's just feedback. You don't get emotionally attached to one idea of success. Instead, you stay committed to the result while allowing the method to transform as needed. That's why people who master this balance are the ones who thrive in every industry, every economy, every stage of life. When you're persistent, you keep your eyes on the prize. When you're adaptable, you make sure the path to the prize is still working. You don't resist reality, you respond to it. You don't complain about obstacles. You look for alternatives. You don't just survive change. You use it as a launch pad. Being both persistent and adaptable means you know how to keep your fire burning while learning to redirect the flame when the wind changes direction. In conclusion, success is not reserved for the lucky or the privileged. It's built by those who dare to think beyond their current reality, who take bold actions with humble beginnings, and who discipline their minds to operate like the wealthy long before they become wealthy. Thinking big gives you the vision to rise above limitations. Starting small gives you the foundation to grow with strength, clarity, and experience. And acting like the rich, by valuing time, embracing adaptability, protecting your mindset, and learning continuously, gives you the habits that build real, lasting success. The secret isn't in a shortcut, but in your mindset. Every successful person began with doubt, uncertainty, and small steps. What separated them was their ability to persist with purpose, evolve with wisdom, and operate with a mindset far ahead of their circumstances. That's the key. See yourself where you want to be, start from where you are, and build each day with the habits, discipline, and vision of someone who is already living the life you dream of. Your thoughts create the path, your actions shape the journey, and your consistency builds the results that others will one day call overnight success.